Roy Smith is our marketing analyst this week. The USDA's May crop report is projecting record corn and soybean crops for the 2014 harvest. The agency is estimating corn harvest at more than 13.9 billion bushels and soybean production over 3.6 billion bushels. It should be noted the nation's farmers had only planted 59% of their corn and 20% of their soybeans as of Sunday. We talked with Roy Wednesday afternoon and started by asking for an update on progress in his area of Cass County, Nebraska.
Planting has gone pretty well. We haven't had a lot of rain breaks, so to speak, and so I'm pretty sure that almost all of the corn has been planted, and I'm going to guess and say probably about half the soybeans. And they went in pretty good conditions, a little bit drier than we'd like, but got rain over the weekend. I had 2.5 inches here, rural Plattsmouth, and other neighbors and other locales all the way up to 4 inches. So it did us some good. It kind of caught up a little bit for a few days anyway.
The USDA Friday released their May crop report. How did the market react to those numbers?
It was pretty interesting. The crop report, the analysts, the economists were saying that the report was mildly bullish. They reduced the carryover on corn, and of course the soybean carryover has already been tight, but instead of going up, the market went down. The traders apparently decided that it wasn't as bullish as what the economists were letting on, and so we've seen a little bit of a pullback in the markets this week.
Why do you think that was?
Well, actually, I think that we've had quite a run in corn and soybeans both. A big surprise in corn, so to speak, because in December we were all talking about how low can it go, and since then it's gone up quite a bit. So I'd say two things. Number one is that the market is maybe a little overbought, and we had too many traders on the bullish side of it. And the other thing is that it's just seasonally time for the market to take a little bit of a break. And you know, I kind of say this tongue in cheek, but I think the traders are watching my seasonal price trend charts, and so we saw a little bit of a pullback this last week.
Now, going forward, as you look at the long-term seasonal price charts for corn, what do you see?
Well, corn and soybeans both, it depends on whether you're looking at new crop or old crop. You know, in terms of the old crop, especially with soybeans, we're still tight in terms of their supplies. For new crop, the market is looking ahead and saying, well, there's going to be a big crop this fall, so the price has got to go down, or stay down, maybe I should say, because we've got about a $2 discount for new crop soybeans as opposed to old crop. And more or less the same thing with corn, although the futures on new crop corn have held pretty much right in line with the old crop. So, you know, I think the market's anticipating a little bit that we're not going to have quite as many acres planted as what the government says. The government's already predicted a record yields, and you know, take that for what it's worth.
Record crops for both corn and beans. Congratulations to the farmer, I suppose.
Right. Well, yeah. How do you do that with a limited number of acres of ground? But you know, well, the way you do it is to have really good weather, and right now is the middle of May, and you know, who wants to? I'll leave Al Dutcher to decide what the prospects are for good weather this summer.
I'm curious, long-term in beans, if you think, you know, the $2 discount that's there now, if you think that is realistic, or if you think long-term, once we get into November, December, and then the beginning of 2015, if we'll shave even a few more dollars off of that market.
Well, it's possible that you know, you look at the structure of the market right now, and as you said, new crop beans are a couple dollars below old crop beans. This past week, or 2 weeks, I guess, the 8th of May is the day on my seasonal price trend charts to be selling new crop beans, and I sold some new crop bean futures, actually more for speculating than because I'm not farming all that much anymore. But so even regardless of what you think the market is going to do with new crop soybeans futures over $12, I think it's a good sale even if you think they're going to go up, because most people can make money on $12 beans.
What do basis numbers look like in this area of Cass County?
Well, the basis is actually held together pretty well. In fact, the basis has gone up in the last month. One of the things that I do when I'm preparing for these programs is to compare this month with last month, and the basis this month actually, even though the futures have gone up, the basis is improved, and that's a good sign, at least for the old crop supplies that people have got on their farms. But the other thing I guess I'd say is that I have the drop dead date of July 1st, and that seems like it's a long ways off now, but it's only 6 weeks, and you don't want to own any of those beans when the horse dies.